Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is June 6th of 2026. So, based on breaking news in advance, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to execute a three-pronged terror plot to essentially trigger all-out World War III on the date of Sunday, June 7th of 2026. So exactly what type of attack or terror event or act of war is planned is obviously not known, but it appears that the CIA plans to stage some sort of major altercation between NATO states and the Russian Federation on the date of June 7th, most likely CBRN in nature. That's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature. That being said, a cross-border incursion on the Russo-NATO border is also expected. Coincidentally, it was just reported on June 6th of 2026 that there is going to be a top-secret World War III meeting between UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky at 10 Downing Street in London on the date of Sunday, June 7th of 2026. So I believe that the first leg in this three-pronged plot, so to speak, is some sort of cruise missile, ballistic missile, or some sort of drone strike, allegedly by Russia, targeting 10 Downing Street to basically assassinate the heads of state of 4 NATO nations, specifically to trigger all-out World War III. There have been multiple drone incursions across Europe. Most of these are being executed in real time by the IDF or the Israeli Navy or the Israeli Air Force, essentially to frame Russia. The latest of one of these was just occurred in Romania. Putin denied that it was his drone, so this is basically setting up for a fatal drone strike to take out 4 heads of state on the date of Sunday, June 7th. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will stage some sort of a nuclear event, possibly with an ICBM strike targeting London for the same reasons. The second plot, which is likely why these heads of state are in fact meeting, is that they have tried on numerous occasions to stage a NATO Special Operation Forces based decapitation strike targeting the Kremlin Palace, specifically to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin. So I believe that the meeting that is going to transpire on Sunday, June 7th, is going to be a real world meeting whereby they will essentially green light some sort of proactive assassination plot targeting Russian President Vladimir Putin. Coincidentally, this week, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky just issued a public decree to Putin to meet him in person, to which Putin responded that he doesn't want to waste his time. So basically, this is designed to foreshadow the notion that Ukrainian or NATO forces will be meeting Putin in person at a future date, which may be on the morning of June 7th. Lastly, I believe the third prong of this three-pronged plot for World War III on the date of June 7th of 2026 is a full-scale Russian armed forces space attack, bombing, and or invasion targeting Kiev and or greater Ukraine, and possibly a secondary NATO nation. I say this because Putin is currently massing up to 70,000 troops, 700,000 troops in Belarus, as well as on the Ukrainian border. 200,000 of those 700,000 are North Korean troops that have been transported from North Korea to the Russian Federation for this impending attack. And the rumors are, according to Alex Jones and other people that are in the intelligence community, that Putin is just basically planning on steamrolling Ukraine. And I believe this could, in fact, transpire on the date of June 7th of 2026. Obviously, if Putin launches a full-scale Blitzkrieg type attack targeting Ukraine, this will automatically draw NATO into World War III with Russia on defense of Ukraine. And that is why, the third reason why I believe this meeting is taking place between Starmer, Merz, Macron, and Zelensky in Ukraine, because they know that this attack is coming, and then they are going to respond in kind. Coincidentally, the date of June 7th marks exactly 264 days since Russia executed the single largest World War III war game in Belarus, entitled Zapad 2025. Zapad translates to West in English, featuring 150,000 Russian armed forces executing a CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear exercise in Belarus back on September 12th through the 16th of 2025. The number 264, obviously 24 equates to letter X, which is known internationally as a symbol of death, and then of course 26 equates to letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism. And so this numerology suggests that this Zapad exercise will in fact go live on the morning of June 7th of 2026. Also, the date of June 7th marks exactly 1,726 days since the CIA staged Zapad 2021, which was also 150,000 Russian armed forces executing a military invasion drill in Belarus back on September 10th through the 15th of 2021. So I should add one caveat, is that this, although I believe it's virtually 90% likely that this would be a Russian attack or invasion of Ukraine, there is the possibility of some sort of a false flag incursion targeting a secondary NATO nation by Ukrainian troops dressed up as Russian or Belarusian forces. So we have to watch out for that. But I believe with pretty much 90% certainty that this will in fact be a full-scale Russian attack or invasion of Ukraine. We have to remember it was back on May 21st when the Ukrainian military sent 3 waves of 16 drones each, slamming into a college dormitory in Moscow, Russia, killing 21 and injuring roughly 50 other college students. Putin saw this as a direct attack on the Russian people, and so I believe that this impending attack and invasion of Ukraine by Russia is going to be essentially to put an end to this once and for all. Obviously, if this happens, things are going to go south really quick, and I believe that this will ultimately trigger the mutually assured destruction scenario, whereby NATO ends up nuking Russia, and then Russia ends up nuking NATO, and including U.S. and the United States in the aftermath of this impending attack. So obviously it has to be avoided at all costs. And so if in fact the CIA stages any sort of military offensive by the Russian Federation, by NATO, or any individual states in Europe on the date of June 7th of 2026, obviously know that it was planned, orchestrated, executed by CIA headquarters located beneath CERN in Lake Geneva in Switzerland, and that this is not an organic development. So if that in fact happens, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.